5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're now tuned into the 411 podcast and reading Between the Wines, powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network. More than a podcast, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Here, we explore what it means to live debt-free, not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Every episode is part of a journey across our weekly mentorship series: Spiritual Sundays, Mental Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wind Down Wednesdays, Coaching Sessions Thursdays, and Financial Fridays. Each day holds space for wisdom, clarity, and real conversation. So grab your journal, pour your glass, and prepare to go beyond the surface. Because here, we don't just talk, we transform. And now, here's your guide through it all, entrepreneur, mentor, and founder of Black Diamond Consultations, Laren Gaines.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome on in. Welcome to Reading Between the Wines. It is October 1st. So, listen, everybody, it is home stretch right about now. Y'all know what's going to happen in a couple weeks. So, yeah, hopefully you are prepared. If you are not prepared, then I can help you get prepared for this. I have a masterclass that is coming up this Sunday, Unwrapping Financial Peace. I'm going to help you master holiday spending and also emergency savings as well. So you're going to spend, but we're going to come out on the other end, a couple steps ahead so that we don't start off 2026 the same way that we did 2025. So if you want more information on that, please go ahead and head on over to larengaines.com. But once October hits here, we're in fourth quarter season for those of you that don't know, and this is home stretch from here on out. So they really don't call it Christmas in July for no reason. So that's like for you to get that head start on getting everything going. But yeah, and actually, you know, Miss Mariah Carey, they thawed her out a little earlier because typically they don't start to take her off of ice until about, the third week of November. She starts to like thaw out, but she has a new album out, so they let her out and they unthawed her early. So now we got a double whammy. We have Mariah Carey's new album, which I'm sure she'll be touring with that. Plus, what happens during the holidays, like the queen of holiday music. Shout out to Mariah Carey. Um, so yeah, we here. This is Reading Between the Wines. I waited all week for this. We are going to have an amazing show tonight. I have my friends, author slash poet Birdman 313 will be in the building, and we're live. So please do me a favor if you are out there, if you could please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend, text a friend, invite them in because you never know what type of breakthrough moments you can get by just tuning in here on a 4-1 podcast and reading between the wines. Before we get started, I want to say a very special thank you to my executive producer. I want to thank God for giving me another opportunity to come out here and, do the Reading Between the Wine show, do the 4-1 podcast. This is an amazing experience. And like I said the other night, one word that I would describe where I'm at right now, where the podcast is at right now, where my guests are right now, because, you know, it's been a whole evolution. And now I think we're in a growth phase. So, very special thank you to all of my special guests. We have Queen Dawn Spirit, Marcus Johnson, we had Neil Jones Jr. Tonight. We have author slash poet Birdman 313. I have a very special guest tomorrow night, recently just added. And we have Alex Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico, joining in on Friday for Financial Friday. So tune in, tap in, same place, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And want to give a very special thank you again and shout out to a few people out there who have been checking me out. Miss SOS, I want to thank you so much. Jonathan Martin Ives, Maddie Lee Mars, Ian West, Okita, West Virginia Uncommon Place Podcast, Danny L. from Survivor Voice Podcast, Miss Donnie Nicole, Two Speed 93. We have Michelle from Plan Your Romance, Lyd Amari, Sophie Davis, Shanti Refuge. Very special thank you to the Scars of Survival Magazine. I want to give a very special thank you to my cousin, Rockwell. Thank you for, liking and checking me out on Facebook. I appreciate that. She will, Shambrika Lachey, me Sam, all the way from Iraq. See, every single time that we come out here night after night, more people start to wake up. So, shout out to me, Sam. I never thought that I would be speaking to somebody from Iraq, and it's real. This is what happens here. Amir, also Mr. Antonio Armenio, he was on earlier this year for part one of Restoration Live, and also Mr. Onyx Blade. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we kicked out the gates with Queen Dawn Spirit. That was an amazing. And just when I thought that, wow, we really gonna have to, up our game since Queen Dawn Spirit comes in. It's been a minute since she's here, but when she does, she gives us nothing but knowledge. When I tell you nothing but knowledge, I thought, oh, wow. But then Neil Jones Jr. came in from United Advertising, and the conversation was just super dope. That's where I came up with the growth, because both him and I over since 2020. Look at us now. And I enjoyed last night, Transformational Tuesday. It was sort of a free. My special guest was unable to attend from India. You know, international love. I try from Iran, conversate with someone from India, Belgium. You know, the European crowd over there. So many different people. And speaking of European crowd, I want to say thank you to everybody out there who watches on Daily Motion. I appreciate you as well. I see, what's happening over there. So I want to say thank you to everybody out there who supports the 401 podcast, Reading Between the Lines. And like I said, sharing is caring. So the best thing that you can do right now, if you want to support, doesn't cost you a thing. Just go ahead and share this video, share this podcast with someone, and you never know who can benefit from it. Now, I have traveled not really far, really not far. It's only about maybe, mm, I want to say maybe about maybe 20 minutes for me. But this is almond berry. I will say that this wine right here, this joint right here, is what really turned me on to wanting to study wine, wanting to actually have my own wine cellar, wanting to, really be a wine collector and a studier of wine, was this almond berry. I don't know what happened, but I stumbled into Cream Ridge Winery years ago, and I sampled this wine, and it was just like mind blowing. That's what I can say about this wine. Absolutely mind blowing. One of my top favorite wines, and it has been years since I've actually like sampled and taste like a full glass of this and just enjoyed. Right now, October, the fourth quarter season, when we start to get into the holidays, this is it right here. So, Cream Ridge Winery does not pay me anything, but maybe they should, because after tonight, definitely going to give them a great review. I already know, because it's one of my favorites. So, but I hadn't had a full glass of it probably in about maybe 5 years. So let's get into it. Song of the day, Can't Let Go by Anthony Hamilton, released in 2005 off of his album Ain't Nobody Worryin'. Now, Anthony Hamilton says, no matter what the people say, I can't let go. I just can't let go. I'm going to love you anyway. Now, one thing that I've learned in life is that we have to be very cautious about receiving unsolicited advice. I've written a special quote about being cautious about people who gives you unsolicited advice. Most people who give you this type of advice, meaning you didn't ask for it, they're just showing up, telling you what they want to tell you. Most of these people, they're all messed up. They don't have their GPS plugged in properly. They got the wrong address. They might be driving drunk. They might be driving impaired. So here they are, driving impaired, trying to tell you how to get somewhere when they haven't even plugged it into their GPS. They're under the influence. They don't even know what's going on. So why would we even think about taking advice from that type of scenario right there? So I want y'all to just think about that as I go through. We've already had this conversation about being very cautious about accepting unsolicited advice. Someone who comes up to you and thinks that they are going to tell you how to make, how to move, how to maneuver. You ain't even asked. They just showed up and they want to go ahead and give you some unsolicited advice. You got to be very careful out there because we know that everybody has an opinion and they know what they say about that, right? Now, for example, if you are married, I can't tell you what to do. I'm only here to give you my real life experience and I'm only here to, you know, give you my opinion on this. This is not advice. But for example, if you are married and you have single friends, if you want to stay married, I think you should be very cautious about taking some marital advice, marital counseling from your single friends. I'm just saying. Ask me how I know. We ain't gonna go there. Now, some tips and tricks on fixing your car. Probably would be wise for you to go and check out the local mechanic, somebody that you know fix on cars, works on cars. Would not be a good scenario if you go ahead and you take some advice from somebody who catches public transportation and doesn't own a car of their own. And in some cases, they don't even have a driver's license. Funny story about that is someone had a nerve to tell me that they didn't like the shape of my car that I picked. They didn't like the shape of the car that I picked. And the last time that I looked around and checked, I'm thinking to myself, you got some nerve to tell me about something that you don't like, the car that I drive, when number one, you don't even have a car, and two, you don't even have a driver's license. I'm going to need you to have several seats. I'm going to need you to back up. Be careful. Don't take any unsolicited advice from people. Check the facts. People out there who are parents, parenting advice. Is it wise to take advice from people who don't even have their own family, never even thought about having children? Some people don't want to have children, but they'll probably be the first people to tell you what you should and shouldn't do with your children. All I'm saying is check the facts and evaluate the situation and see if everything adds up. You know, make sure it adds up properly. Having said that, we're going to flip this thing a little bit. We're going to remix it. Here's one thing that I've learned in life, that not everybody is going to tell the same lie. I'm going to repeat that again. Not everybody is going to tell the same lie. So if you have a bunch of people, multiple people, every time you turn around, these people, they don't even know each other. Like you might have a group of friends over here that is saying something, and you might have someone over here that's saying something. Just remember that not everybody is going to tell the same lie. If every time you turn around, you're having this group of people, this person tell you the same exact issue, the same exact problem, the same exact type of advice, whether it's unsolicited or not, the same story continues to repeat itself over and over again about your specific situation. Just remember that not everybody is going to tell the same lie. So you can't be walking around saying this person said this person said that. If you're walking around saying that and the story continues to add up and it's the same situation over and over and over again, not everybody is going to tell the same lie. If you have issues with compulsive spending, if you have issues with sometimes stretching the truth and not keeping it real, if you have these relationship issues over and over and over again, and every time you turn around, everybody is telling the same story. Listen, not everybody is going to tell the same lie. I'll say that again. Not everybody is going to tell the same lie. So, what did we say at the top of this? Anthony Hamilton was just so hell bent on it. He was so stuck on it in this record, saying that no matter what the people say, you are my life. I can't let go. Be careful of being in that type of situation with whatever scenario you have going on that continues to keep repeating itself over and over and over again. Do you have an issue with money? Do you have an issue with drinking? Do you have an issue with spending? Do you have an issue with whatever the case may be? Do you have an issue with this relationship? Remember, not everybody's going to tell the same lie. Be careful about being so dead strong, so on point with something that might be pulling you away, something that might be pulling you in the wrong direction. I said last night, first comes pride, then come destruction. Everyone, we all must learn to humble ourselves. We all must learn to look in the mirror and get with that person first before you go and get that advice from the next person. Sometimes you may not even ask it. Like I said, people will give you that unsolicited advice if they see you're going through something, if they get tired of hearing the same situations and the same scenarios, the same broken records over and over again. And that might prompt somebody to say, hey, listen, I'm tired of this. I might have to reach out to you. I might have to just give it to you like it is, because that's the only way that I'm going to keep this friendship going. That's the only way that I can continue to even rock with you, is if you just listen and learn and check this thing out here. There's an issue here. But remember, not everybody's going to tell the same lie. But remember, check with yourself first. If you find that this person's saying this person's saying that this person way over here is saying something, and they don't even know each other, but they're telling the same story to me and they're giving me the same type of advice. Not everybody's going to tell the same line. Maybe it's time for you to look in the mirror and humble yourself and get right with yourself. Everyone must humble themselves and put that thing that we call ego aside. When you put that ego aside, sometime that's when the real breakthrough, that real breakthrough experience can come through. Be very careful with just holding on to something and saying, can't let go. Song of the day, Can't Let Go by Anthony Hamilton. This is episode 55, Drunk on Debt. Now, the title is rough. I'm just saying, it is what it is. It's deep. But today, and this is for everybody out there, we don't want to be drunk on debt. We don't want to be drunk on debt. We don't want to be like Beyonce, drunk in love, crazy in love. We have to be very careful about the things that we speak over our lives. Just be very cautious, people. Welcome on in. Reading Between the Wines, episode 55, Drunk on Debt. Wow. I'm still on that Anthony Hamilton Can't Let Go. When I hear that record, I'm just still on that. Anyway, but that's what we do here on 411 Podcast, Reading Between the Wines. We remix it a little bit. So I want to get into this wine here. And then we're going to get Author Birdman 313. And this is going to be a prime example of what it really means to read between the wines. So nothing very special about this bottle. It doesn't have, like fancy words like most of these bottles have. The back is just, as they say, it just be regular. So it is, I believe it's 11% alcohol content. And for some reason I can't find it, but I found it earlier. But yeah, let's get right on into it. Now, before I start, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that yes, there has been a shift. I'll just keep it real. There has been a shift in this podcast. What we started in 2020. Excuse me one second, because this is just going to annoy me if I don't do this. Sorry, I'm not going to sit here and deal with that while I'm trying to podcast here. It is what it is. All of the things that you can basically do when the cameras are not on. Started in 2020, and I was coming from a different place than I am here today. Like I said in the beginning, there has been some growth, there's been evolution, and I realized that I have to be very cautious in the delivery and the message that I give to my community. And one thing is, think about the title, Drunk on Debt. We don't want to be drunk on anything. So make sure that you know what your limits are. When you consume alcohol, it could affect all of the realms that we focus on here at Black Diamond Consultations. From the spiritual realm, like I said before, they don't call it wine and spirits for a reason. When you start to indulge in alcoholic beverages, and if you do not know your limits, it will specific spirits that are within you. Okay. When it comes to the mental aspect, if you don't have a control on it, you can be just doing this delicate dance and going back and forth, and it can weigh on your mental and, of course, physical. We already know what that does to the body if you overdo anything, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol. We just have to be very cautious. And then, of course, these things cost. It can cost you. And between the things that we consume, which I spoke about fast food last night, between the things that we consume, if we are not careful and we're not cautious as far as what we are doing when it comes to our finance, we can run into some problems. So be very cautious, people, and drink responsibly on behalf of Black Diamond Consultations. All right, so this is the almond berry wine. It is from Cream Ridge, New Jersey, which is in Monmouth County. And this is made from the Niagara grape. They used to have one called the Eastern White. And when I was doing wine tasting this past weekend, I said, where's that Eastern White? Because I don't see it on the list. And I was informed that they no longer make it. But when I sniffed this wine, you get the aroma from the Niagara grape, which was used for the white version of this. These were classics for the holidays. Great. It's a great gift to give someone. This is about $15 per bottle, and it's 11% alcohol volume. This, you probably don't get a good example of this here, of the rich ruby color, but when it's chilled, when you get the full bottle, it's a little deeper. I maybe you can't really tell through the lighting, but you get a darker color when you're looking at the full example of the bottle. The aromas from this is going to be strong blueberry, believe it or not, blueberry, almond berry. Like you get like this sweet jammy berries, nutty type of scent, jam, just almost like jam jelly type thing. Just smells outright delicious. The taste, this is what taste testers are saying: lush and fruity on entry. The blueberry, mixed berry, maybe like some blackberry. You smell almond, and it says that it has a real nice balanced mellow acidity. And the finish is likely to linger on berry skins and a slightly nutty aftertaste. This pairs well with, of course, berries. It says blueberry tarts and blueberry cobbler, soft cheeses such as brie. Anybody out there ever have brie cheese? I don't believe that I've ever had it, but this is like the second or third wine that says that it pairs very well with brie. Dark chocolate desserts, serve chill basically over ice. You can have it, you know, over ice as well. And of course, this is a dessert wine on its own. We're going to get into some, you know, reviews. This is about a 4 out of 5. First time, I believe, on reading between the wines, I'm giving this wine 5 before I even sample it because I remember it from years ago. 5 stars for me. Almond Berry is Cream Ridge's longtime bestseller and signature fruit wine. It is made from Niagara grapes and infused with almond berry character and its favorites. Excuse me, and it's the favorite of their visitors. And it actually has the title of legendary almond berry. And here's some of the reviews: a flavorful, joyful fruit wine, distinctive, approachable, and expressive with its berry and nut combination. New Jersey Uncork Notes says the wine that has consistently been their bestseller all of these years has been their almond berry wine made from the Niagara grapes. Here's another review. Seller Tracker catalog list Niagara almond berry under Cream Ridge Winery, categorized fruit wine slash Niagara style. That I can't say enough about it. And I don't really see it that often. Typically, when I get Niagara grapes, is when you actually visit a winery. Like going into like your wine shop, I typically don't come across it that much. Here's another review. Reviewers on TripAdvisor mention I really like their almond berry wine. Yelp reviewers call it absolute favorite from the Cream Ridge Winery. So I want to say cheers. Thank you so much, everyone, for another amazing episode of Reading Between the Wines. And I'm going to sample this and let you know exactly how great this almond berry wine really is. Mm. It has this distinct aftertaste that will just take you away. And the aroma from the Niagara grape. My recommendation is to keep this super chilled. Now, this is room temperature, which it's still great, but when you keep this thing on, like they said, put it over ice, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want it to be watered down after a period of time. But when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this, I have waited several years for this. I hadn't been out in Cream Ridge, New Jersey in over 5 years. And this weekend was amazing. They did some upgrades. I highly recommend it. Anyone from New Jersey, small little winery that it is, visit it. They've upgraded their wine catalog. They have you can sample 10 different wines for about $15. Basically a price of a bottle of wine. And by the time you're done sampling that, you'll be ready to purchase your bottle and take it on out. I give Cream Ridge Winery's almond berry a 5 star, and I've also give their upgrades that they've done in their wine selection and the the wine tasting experience. That definitely is a top notch quality. I've visited 4 wineries so far, and that was the fourth. And first two, one was under construction. The view of the winery was like it was diminished. It wasn't what it normally was when I went there years ago. The second winery, I was attacked by bees. The third experience was awesome at the Wine Fest at the Valzano Winery in Chemung, New Jersey. And then this one here, this past weekend, was absolutely amazing. So, out of all of the straight up wineries on its own, listen, Cream Ridge is right there. So, cheers. Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring in my special guest, author slash poet, Birdman 313. What's going on?
How's it going?
It's going good, and I got my glass of wine. I'm ready to
I
go.
see.
Um,
I see.
it's interesting how things happen between prior to the show
Yes.
to where we are here now.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, that's what you call lights, camera,
Oh
action.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we ready to go now. All right. So how's it going? Let us know. I got to do my little weather update. Let me know how you feeling. Right now, I got long sleeves on. It was super chilly here in New Jersey.
Oh, it's
So,
the weather
what you got
here.
over?
It's Texas weather. It's in the 90s still. It's cooler than what it was yesterday. Yesterday was like
Okay, that's a shame that it's in.
it was like 96, 97 yesterday. Today it might have been what 95, 94, something like that. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. When you live
When
up
I
north,
say, yeah, it is what it is. When you live up north, you try to find your best way to get to the south or the west during this time of year.
yes.
Yeah. So the moment has arrived. We are going to get some of your poetry tonight.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna read. I decided ah, four short pieces. 'Cause I don't want to bore the audience. And like I told you earlier, that if because I go to readings all the time, and I found when you have long poems or you read too many, you're gonna lose your
mhm,
customers, or you're gonna lose the audience. And you might throw a couple of nice poems in there, but because you've
mhm,
been up so long, they forgot which one it was. So I try to
mm.
read short poems, because most of my poems that I'm reading tonight will be in a video. So therefore, I make them short, but you can understand them.
Is that like an art to poetry that it has to be a certain length because if you make it too long, or am I just thinking something different? Do you have like short poems? Do you have long poems? Like, is that a thing? The perfect recipe for it?
No, reason why I always wrote short pieces, because I was always trying to write music. So I've always written
Okay.
short poems, and that just became a thing. I mean, I have some long poems, but I don't read them at an open mic or on Zoom, because, like I said, people will tend to oh, doze off, and not really get the message. And I be trying in my words.
Okay.
I'm trying to relay the message to 'em. Every poet is different. Some of them do have long poems and they read them, but me,
Hmm.
I prefer short ones.
Okay. Now, let us all know, especially people who will be checking out this replay for the first time. Let us know, of course, you're from Texas, where we can get all of your books, get connected with you, and most importantly, how did you get started with all of this?
Okay, yeah. You can go to Amazon.com/author/Birdman313. You can go to Instagram.com/Birdman31355. You can go to YouTube.com/author poet Birdman31355. You can go to Spotify and look on the Coffee, Wine, and Words platform, and you will find some of my videos there also. So those are the main places where I be at, and I post I do post videos on Instagram. So if you don't go to my YouTube channel, you can always go to my Instagram page, and you can find poems, you can find videos there. Just have to scroll through, because
Okay.
I'm always uploading pictures of where I be at, just to give out inspiration to other people who can't get to them spots.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That makes sense. I get you now.
Yes,
Now I see what you're doing. I got you.
yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
And how did you start doing poetry? What inspired you to do
Um,
that?
Believe
To
it or
start
not,
that?
in the fourth grade, teacher called my parents, and I thought I was in trouble. I said, "Hey, he's a good writer. He could be no, he couldn't be a good writer. Y'all stick with him. Keep him writing something." So my parents kept me writing something. So I'm originally from Benton Harbor, Michigan, And so
Mm-hmm.
when the winter time came, there was some days which you know of, you're aware of, you couldn't get outside. And my dad had
Mm-hmm.
bought me a little portable record player radio, and I would put music, I would put records on there, and I would sit there and try to write. I started enjoying
Mm-hmm.
it so much, and I really just was going to be a writer. I fell into poetry after I got in college. And then I went back to writing music or trying to write lyrics. And it didn't work. So I just started just writing poetry. And from through the years, I'll write for some time, then I'll take a break. Then I'll come back and write some more, and I'll take a break. And I must say that ever since 2000, I don't even take a break no more. I just write. And whether it's a poem or not, I can always change it to a poem anytime I want to if I want. So I just write, and like I said, I got paper all around the house that got writing on it. And sometimes it'd be like 3 or 4 lines. Then I'll just come back and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna turn this into a poem. After I heard some music or
Hmm.
I watched something on TV or I hear somebody say something, and I was like, oh, I already got that written, something like that written down, and it gives me that inspiration to go ahead and put it as a poem.
That's awesome. It's good when you have people help you during your journey, such as you said, a teacher reached out to your parents. You always have one or two people that help you, whether it's someone in school as you're growing up in school, or an employer. I was thinking of that one boss, that favorite employer that actually helped change your life. And I was reflecting on that this past week, like, wow, I have my favorite boss, and I'm like, wow, that person really helped shape and change my life. So that teacher that said, wow, he's going to be a great writer, you know.
Yeah,
I just think that those people always stay with you because they've shaped and they've helped, you know, build your life in some type of way. That's a long lasting impact that one person leaves on your life.
yeah, and then like I said, also I got encouragement from Junior Walker of Junior Walker and the All Stars when he was alive. He would come to the house sometime, and like I said, my dad used to play drums for him, and other little
Hmm.
bands. So you
Wait a minute,
know,
Junior Walker, Junior Walker.
yeah, and the All
I didn't mean to
Stars,
cut you. I don't mean to cut you off, but what's the song? What's the hit song? I think I know what it is,
Shotgun,
but I want to hear. I don't know if
Shotgun.
that's it.
Well, he
Is
got
there
a couple
something
of
else? Yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah, he does. But Shotgun is the most popular one, and he
Hmm.
also
I'll
told
have
me
to look
because he
that
knew
up.
I played saxophone also at one time, and he always told me if you decide to stick with music, he said write your own. Don't let nobody write it for you. He said this way you can get all the money. So like I said, I always my
Mm.
handwriting was always so good that most of any of my teachers they was like, oh, you don't have to type your page, just go ahead and write it and give and send it in. And that's what I used to do.
Oh wow.
Didn't even try to learn how to type really. That.
So you're trying to say that your handwriting is so on point that it looked that neat that you didn't even have to worry about typing?
Exactly. I used to get
Wow.
a in penmanship, and like I was talking like when I was especially when I was in college, and the teacher said, "So," I said, "She said you never have your paper typed." And I said, "You want me?" I said, "I'm gonna have to find somebody to type it." She said, "No." She said, "I'm just curious." And she said, "You can keep writing.
Hmm.
You don't have to have it typed." She said, "Because it's almost like it's typed and I can read it. I don't have to strain my arm.
Right, right,
Yeah. But now,
right, right.
now,
That's
man,
on point.
since I've been messing around on the keyboards, man, it's not like it used to be. I mean, as you get older, it kind of changed.
Okay, so I want to tell you this, that when I was in school, I used to always get called up, and the teacher would pull me aside and she would look at me and be like, "And Laren, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
I I used to get in trouble so bad for the type of stuff that I would
Oh,
write. And sometimes I would write it, and then she would be like, "Okay, now I need you to read this." And I look at it and be like, "Now what in the hell did I write?
oh, man.
What did I say in
I
here?"
never had that issue. I never had that issue, man.
That I sometimes I look at my own writing and be like, now that I'm older, I'll be like, now that don't make no sense. I have to, get with myself and be like, yeah, this don't
Yeah.
make no sense. You don't even know what you
Yeah.
wrote. So, all right. So we gonna get into it. What you got for us?
Well, you know what?
I'm ready. I got my.
Since you talked about this was October, and like I said, they're gonna be
Hmm.
short. And I'm gonna read
Okay.
maybe four, maybe five. It just depends. The first one is called Fall Weather, and it's actually don't I tell people when I tell you I have a poem in a book, don't ask me which book because I don't
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean I have
Oh, I
14
got you.
poetry books. 10 of them is on Amazon. So I
Okay.
don't remember exactly if it's not written at the top on my Kindle or my tablet. I don't know
Hmm.
which book it's from,
Hmm.
but this one here is titled Fall Weather. Looking out of the kitchen window as the weather begins to change. Every season has its special beauty, but autumn is different. The fall brings out sweaters from the closet to keep us warm. Notice the display of foliage during this glorious season and the harvest celebration with apple picking and pumpkin carvings. It is a sign that summer has ended and that fall is beginning. A season has changed. Leaves are saying their soft goodbyes, turning from green to gold, yellow and red. We watch the leaves as they swirl down softly to the ground, making a carpet of nature's beauty. A truly beautiful sight. The smell of hot cider is in the air. Ah, the autumn weather is all around and so relaxing, with so many colors of yellow, red, and brown. Mountaintops are now turning white with the winter chill. Bare trees seem lonely. How can it be that all this beauty of the side of death and decay? With all this beauty, there is also a certain sadness in knowing that the changing colors forecast the arrival of possibly a long, cold winter. And that's titled Fall
Mm.
Weather. And like I said, that's in one of my books. Don't know which one, but it's in there.
Okay. So now I'm gonna tell you my um what I guess review of the poem. Great poem, but it gives you that bittersweet. When I say bittersweet, because I am a lover of summer. Even though I was born in December, I absolutely love the summer. And right about now, I'm cool with this. Like, all right, it's cool weather. They say cool weather gets cooler. I'm cool.
Yes.
But after about, Halloween, maybe we could get to Thanksgiving. After that, I want nothing to do with it. So,
Yeah.
but the part that I liked about it, that it brought good memories, the apple picking. You talked about the pumpkins. That was great. And then we went into the real stuff like the top of the mountains, turning, white, and then death and decay. That's just reality what happens, you know,
Yeah.
spring, everything comes alive, and then we know what happens in the
Yes.
wintertime. But as my Buddhist mentor teacher has taught me, is that, Laren, you know what? Winter always turns to spring. So even though we are in whatever we get into, just know that whatever situation you in, trust and believe and know that winter always turns to
Oh
spring.
yes. Oh yes.
So very good. I like
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Okay. The next one. I
Hmm.
we used to go out on the West Coast every year, at least 2 to 3 times, and we always did tours. And when we did the tour of L.A. and San Francisco, we went through areas that it was just sad to look at. To see the homeless
Mm,
people. And so,
yeah.
like, I've written several poems about homelessness, and this one here is titled "Living on the Streets." Um, because I used to work, like I said, I've worked as a counselor, and I worked in group homes, and I ran across people who actually lived on the streets, and it's kind of, it will bring chills to you and tears sometimes. So, but I tried not to make this one of them type of poems where you'll sit back and cry, but you just think about it. And it's
Hmm.
titled "Living on the Streets." On a clear, cold day or night, one can feel and hear the wind whistling through the trees. Sleeping on a cold, hard bench or in a smelly stairway is difficult. Blessed to have one torn blanket and a moldy pillow to lay your head on at night. It's a hard life to live. Some may think one chooses this life, but really, this life chooses you instead. A bag, tattered and frayed, with one pair of socks and maybe one shirt is all that is owned. There is no permanent place to call home or to lay your head safely. Begging for food or money daily is met with scorn and disdain as people pass by as if you are invisible. This way of life is hard. No jobs are to be found. One sits waiting for better times to happen, trying not to be sad and give up hope. The sun begins to set in the west as nighttime approaches. The fight for survival is constant, hoping the night won't be so cold. One loses a sense of time. Days, weeks, months, and even years pass by. Be careful where you step. The grave is wide open.
Mm,
And like I said, and I think this one might be in my street poem book. This one here, I can tell you that because, like
hmm.
I said, most of the poems in that book are about homelessness and out in L.A. and San Francisco. So
N- Now, what I get out of that, what brings me is, we spoke a lot this week about tithing and giving. And what I always envision is just going through the streets of like New York City, going through some of the, after being in LA, Hollywood, seeing that, I was like thrown back that this is Hollywood and there's like all of it. I was just thrown back by that. Going to Paris, seeing that type of environment. It's like all of these major cities and places like that, there's all problem of homelessness. And even as a child and even today, it does something to me when I see that. So I just envision myself having like stacks and just handing it out to people. So when they say giving and tithing, like the people that really need it, especially during the holidays, like, okay, what are you wasting your money on this holiday? Are you buying some like gift that I want to say thoughtless gift that you ran through the store and you picked up at the last minute just to go and sit in front of your Christmas tree with your family and say, I just here I gave you a gift? Or did you really put some thought into who really actually needs the help during this time frame, and then you actually go out and give to the homeless? So that's what I think about when I think about people who give during the holidays. Give to the people who really need it.
Yeah. Well, they got a thing called ghetto Hollywood. Right there on
Ghetto Hollywood.
ghetto Hollywood. Yes. It's right, if you're on Hollywood Boulevard, you can only
Hmm.
go so far down. And if you go even
Hmm.
farther down, that's when you'll see the streetwalkers, the drug dealers, the homeless
Like
people.
you better
Yeah.
like you better turn around, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
And
so
I
sh-
mean, like I said, downtown, man. Oh man. And Venice Beach, man. I was really when we went out to Venice, we took a tour out there. And when I went out there, man, it threw me back, man, to see the people out there and how nasty that beach really is.
listen to the name Venice Beach, and you said it's nasty.
Yes. And they talk about, oh, well, like it wasn't like that back when Van Morrison and them was staying out there, a lot of the rockers when they stayed off, but since they've been gone from there, it's just straight
Mhm.
trash now.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of that, I was in Palm Spring, California. That too, like just a lot of homeless people there, and that's amazing to experience that. But that was, who was in the, what do they call it, the Rat Pack? Who was that?
Oh, you talking about Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra?
So I ended up staying in a resort where those people stayed. They preserved
Uh,
it, and homelessness in that area was just absolutely disturbing. Like you walking late at night and someone could walk up on you. And I'm like, wait a minute,
yeah.
like, do you know where we're staying at? And this is what, yeah, it was interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like I said, I didn't write it to demean anybody, but I wrote it so people, when they read it, they can be aware that, hey, this is how America is. I mean, I have a poem called Ghetto America somewhere in one of my books, street poems. I can say that. And
Hmm.
people. I know there's a lot of people that do not believe that homelessness is really real. And I'm gonna tell you what I was told by, I don't know if it was a tour guide or it was just somebody I was talking to about the homelessness. They said because
Hmm.
of the weather, and they said everything is expensive. Man, it's expensive out there, very expensive. And they said, so a lot of them don't care about living on the streets, and a lot of them, once they get on the streets, they don't want to go to no shelter because they don't want to be told what to do. They want to stay on the
You know, I
streets because they can do what they want to do on the streets.
I heard that they can do what they want to do. They don't have to answer to nobody. They don't have to get up and go to work whenever they want to. I mean, just think about
Yeah,
that. Just think about that.
yeah, and that's just how it
It,
is.
it, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that make you go, hmm. Remember that song, Things That Make You Go, hmm?
Yeah,
Like you, you don't have to get up, you don't have to answer, you don't have to do this now. You might have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. You might need to worry about if your safety, if your health and your life is going to be. And but in places where it's warm, I would see that that would probably be more of a problem.
yeah, it is. And people, when you go out there and you think about Hollywood, all the music industry, the movie industry, and all the different jobs. But then what you don't, what they don't think about is the cost of living. That's what gets
Oh yeah.
everybody is the cost of living. It's not the jobs itself. Um, Another poet friend of mine, when I go out there, we do poetry together. He told me, he said it was when they stayed in San Francisco, it was four of them renting a 2-bedroom apartment. He said that each one had to pay 12.50. Can you read that? 12.50, man. And you share an apartment with three other people, man. That's a lot of money for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay. Okay. Now I don't mean to do this, but I got my little calculator here,
Dude,
so
yeah,
1250. And you said how
it's
many?
four of them.
You said
Yeah,
four? Four?
yeah, four people.
Okay. All right. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Hey,
For what? Tell me what it was
it
again.
was a
What
it
kind of
was a
place
two
was it?
bedroom apartment in San Francisco, and he said each one of them had to pay 12.50 for rent.
Wow. I guess that gives you. And how long ago was that? How many years ago was
Oh, it
that?
was just 2 years ago. We used to do because he moved back to L.A. to be with his family because he said he couldn't handle the payment, so he moved back to be with his family in L.A. And that was like, yeah, two
Okay.
years ago.
So it's safe to say that it could be like maybe 5,000,
Yeah,
5,000, close to six, maybe 500, 5,500.
yeah,
It could
yeah.
be with inflation. Now, I will tell you this, that I was listening to a podcast and they list about 5 states that is not good for you to live in. And I'll repeat that. 5 states that's not, excuse me, I'll reframe it. 5 states that is not good to retire in. It's okay to work there. It's okay if you want to live there. Its cost of living is going to be high. But these 5 states, don't think that this is a good place to retire in. Now, off of memory, I'm going to see if I can name them all. See if I could get the 5. Ready? Number 1, California. Absolutely not. If you think that you're going to retire from there and have a good life, think
Yeah.
again. Number 2, New York. Surprisingly, where I live at, New Jersey made the list.
Really?
Oh, oh yeah, New Jersey is one of them. It's right there. New Jersey and New York, they're just in competition with each other.
Wow.
It's like New Jersey is the little sibling. New York is the big sibling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicago made the list.
Yeah. I can believe that. I'm 90. I grew up 90 miles from Chicago. I can believe that.
And I can't remember number 5, but I basically, I don't like the cold weather anyway. So when I heard that, I said, thank you very much for letting me know that this is not, I already knew anyway that I'm not retiring here, but thank you very much for helping me make my
You want to
decision.
know what is a surprise?
It's cost of living.
um, Dallas is more expensive than Houston, and Houston is bigger than Dallas.
Maybe.
No, yeah,
Hmm.
Houston.
Say, okay,
Houston.
let's say that.
Houston
Say
is,
that
is
again.
is the fourth largest city in the U.S., but Dallas is more expensive than living in Houston. And they said it's because Dallas had more millionaires living there than Houston.
Oh yeah.
So therefore,
You
they're
all
they're more expensive.
don't want to know why Dallas is more expensive. And this is just Laren
Well,
just coming up with his own little thing because of that good crude oil that's there.
that could be it too.
And they don't want people to live there because of that good liquid gold that's there.
Yeah,
Hmm. I think maybe I had a little bit too much to sip anyway. It's that good old liquid gold there. That's the real reason why they don't want you being there anyway. Um
yeah.
Also, as we are still on this, and I know we're gonna get to the next one, another place that's pretty disturbing when it comes to the homelessness?
Who's that?
Las Vegas. Las Vegas,
Oh
Nevada.
yes, yes, yes. It is. Yes, it is. Um, Before I had a cousin that passed away. He passed away from the virus when it first came out. And when we went out there, we used to always, he would come and get me from the hotel. And man, he would take me around, and I just seen how it was, and I'm like, oh well, man. And I do
I
have
see.
one of my college friends. He stays out there. We played college baseball together, and whenever we go out
Mhm.
there, we always hook up with him. And he stay in Henderson. He don't stay, and it's a
Mhm.
lot. And I know a comedian. That's where he stayed, was in Henderson. They don't stay right in
Henderson.
Las Vegas. Yeah, Henderson is right outside of Vegas. It's like a suburb. Matter of fact, I had a female I knew from college. She stayed. That's where a lot of them stay at. Is Henderson. It's expensive because of casinos. You got.
Yeah, but they make a lot of money. Come on now. They make a lot of money
They hurting now though.
off of people.
They hurting now. People's not
Yeah.
going out there like they used to. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Mhm. Listen, I seen some terrible things happen on the strip. I love Vegas. I love the weather.
Yeah,
It's so amazing. I'm envisioning it right now. Can't wait to get back there.
I
But
know.
tell me, don't take your children there.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
they call it Sin City for a reason. Don't take your children there. I saw
yeah.
this. I felt so bad. I felt so bad for this family. They were walking down the street and they had their little children there.
Yeah.
And what their children witnessed happening on that strip
Hey.
from a homeless person was a trip.
Yeah.
I was thrown back by it.
Hey,
But
Fremont
in any
Street is no
case,
better. We went down, and that's what, it's funny. We went down on Fremont Street, and I didn't know what pasties were at the time, and you know,
oh yeah.
and I'm like, man, she almost naked. Yeah, I found out what pasties was. I'm like, oh man, and I was like, you know what? Fremont Street, I don't want to go down there. But like you said, the strip is no better because mostly all the women that's outside are naked.
And not to mention the cards that they hand into you and
Yeah,
that you can pick up on the ground
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
Say, oh, is this real? This is real. Okay. But I love Vegas. I can't wait to go
Oh yeah,
back.
that's same here. Same here. That's same here. I always do videos when I go out there, man. I shoot poems and I write poems and I shoot videos. So, yeah, that combination it's been great for me out there.
Hmm. All right, what we got next?
Okay, this one here is titled On a Moonless Night. I just recently wrote this one here. It's about a couple that been living in a neighborhood that's just deserted now, or it's ran down. And it's titled On a
Hmm.
Moonless Night. On a damp, dreary night under a moonless sky, The air circulates with a biting cold feeling. While walking through the neighborhood, passed over milky water puddles. On the porch sat a man and a woman who have lived here all their lives, remembering when the neighborhood was once beautiful and safe. There was an aroma of fresh baked bread, the smell of roses, and children playing outside. This area is no longer like this. Now there are broken, cracked, rain splattered windows, hiding the past of rotten, tiny wood frame homes still standing after all these years. Rusty, rotten, brittle planks, like a ghost has now taken over. Walking along on a sidewalk that is now no longer safe because of all the cracks from the tree roots that have busted through. Muggers, gangbangers, drug dealers, and pimps have taken over this rundown neighborhood. You can hear the doors from empty buildings slamming in and out from the icy wind blowing. As music is the strength to enjoying what is left of this once beautiful neighborhood, listen to the song of the rain, the drums of the windows, cymbals from a tin roof. This is an area where it is more promising to leave than to remain if one is to succeed in life.
Hmm. Now, that's a deep one. That's a deep one. And I would say that it reminds me of the neighborhood that I grew up in. Not to the extent of muggers and drug dealers and stuff like that, but 1980, anywhere between 1983, I believe, is when we first moved to this specific area. And I drove down there. This is so mystical because I drove down my old block last week, Saturday, and it is nothing like what it was from 1983 until now. Nothing like it. And it reminds me of this. And I saw this happening over a period of time. Like living there, I seen the transition where, oh, this is not cool. These people moved in. What's happening here? Like, why are there broken down cars now on the street when, it was so pristine and clean and we used to be able to leave our doors unlocked, in the summertime. No, I would fall asleep on the couch with the doors unlocked. Nobody would come in. Screen door just wide
Yeah,
open. Nobody would, like, that's just what I did back then.
right.
Can't do that now.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I've written several homelessness poems or about the ghetto. And when I wrote this one here, I sit back and I'm like, wow, man, it reminds me of my hometown. You know, um, I went back. It's been a while back. I won't even go back, man. I went back and I didn't even recognize the neighborhood. The homes that were
Mhm.
used to be there were all gone, and I'm like, I felt like I was lost. And I ran, when met a couple friends, and they said, "We know that you was, you from here. You grew up. You ran these streets." I said, "But don't do it now."
They tell you don't go there
Right.
now.
And one of my good friends, me and him we used to shoot ball in the park all the time. I was at his house one day, and he said, "Look, man," he said, "I'm glad you stopped by." He said, "But let me give you a little advice. It's getting nighttime." He said, "It's time to get the heck up out of here." And he said, "Come back by tomorrow." And he said, "Come by early." He
Mm,
said, "But you don't want to get caught over here at
early.
nighttime." He said, "Yes, I know." Because when I first pulled up, I asked about him, and it was these guys sitting across the street, and they was looking. So he came out with his shotgun, man. I said, "Whoa." I said, "Hey, man, it's me." He said, "Oh, I know who you are." He said, "I'm letting them over there know. Do not mess with you."
Mm,
And he said, "Hey, this dude here." he lived and grew up here. He said he stayed right there on May Street, right round the corner where that empty lot at, the house that burnt down years ago. That's where he grew up at. And the dude, and they stopped looking. They go, oh, okay, man, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, like that? And I'm like, oh, it's like that. He said, yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
It's burnt down homes is what you spoke about. There's like two on the block now.
uh huh,
We had all of the homes were on the block.
yeah,
When I was in middle school, my best friend's home burned down, and then what? Maybe like 3 years ago, another house burned down. So it was interesting going through the neighborhood, seeing that
yeah,
the empty lots where the homes were.
yeah. It's a
Hmm.
couple of my friends I went to elementary school, we be talking, and it's funny. Their homes, the house they grew up in, same thing happened. They burnt down. And I'm like, what did they say? Hey, they said people was running around. This one lady, she said her mother wanted to see their old home so badly. And she said, no, you don't. Yes, I do. No. So she took her there. She said, when they got there, she said, whoever it was has stole the doors and the windows out of the house, man. And then they went back,
Doors and the windows.
the doors and the windows, and said when they went back the next time, they had set it on fire and burnt it down.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Hmm. That's deep.
yeah, and so I'm kind of lighting this up, man. I'm this one,
Yeah, we went. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but no, this next one I'm gonna read. Oh, you got questions on that?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. This one here is you ever been to San Diego?
I have, and I'm gonna tell you that I didn't like the weather.
Really?
I
Oh,
mean, I went to see. Okay, so I went to SeaWorld, right?
uh-huh.
And first of all, I stayed in Palm Springs, and the temperature is like 120. I like that. It was so hot that we had to run inside sometime and catch our breath and be like, all right, now we're gonna go back out. We gotta dash and get to the next place because we're gonna get burnt up. So we were like sticking and moving, and sometimes it gets so hot that you have to like go in a store and get yourself together. So cool, we got that. At night, the hottest that it would be is probably like 80 degrees at night. So when I went to San Diego, it's like 76 degrees, 78. And we at SeaWorld getting wet. And when that wind blew from the ocean,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good, bro.
Oh
I'm good.
man,
Mm-mm.
San Diego. San Diego is where I
I'm,
want. I want to go back there, man. Cause
nah, I'm
we
good.
the hotel. It was funny. We had a room reservation, but when we got there, the room wasn't available, or they had given it away. So they said, "Well, hey, what we're gonna do is gonna put you in a room that has the beach view, the ocean view." And
Mm-hmm.
and when she was like, "Hey, we got the ocean view." I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." Hey, man, I had my camera set up in the room. I mean, hey, man, I enjoyed it. So anyway, this poem here is about who Flow Rider is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, they have this thing called Boots in the Park in August or September, August, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
around there. Didn't know anything about what was going on. They just say, "Oh, they got a concert next door." So we went out there. We
Mm-hmm.
went over to the restaurant. We heard this music playing. Walked out and I seen it, and I'm like, "Oh man, that's Flow Rider stuff." Hey man, I had my phone with me. Whoop, I videoed it. So I wrote a poem. We was only there for like 3 days. I wrote two poems a day about our time there in San Diego, and this is one of them. And it's titled "An Evening by the Ocean." And this one here is in Outdoor Memories. I can tell you that because I remember that. This is my book, Outdoor Memories. Enjoying the
Okay.
evening, sitting by the ocean, listening to the waves splash. Sometimes I go out by the ocean to get away from the neighborhood while shedding a tear and drowning my sorrows in the waves and the evening sky. A gentle breeze feels so good on the skin that it makes me forget how cruel life can be. The waves open up the freedom that has been buried deep inside of the soul for years. Listening as the waves bring freedom of life to the surface. The splashing sounds remove the chains of the feelings of being sentenced to a long and various disappointments. Watching the sky change to its dazzling beauty as the waves splashed against the shoreline brings peace and happiness for the moment. It brings understanding of being a spectator when the sand runs through my hands. An evening by the ocean shore allows the mind to ponder the beauty of the ocean and sky. The tides whispered and the wind swept cares away and brought feelings of peace from the evening by the ocean. And the like I said, the restaurant we went to across the street, they had three different restaurants there. So you could choose
Hmm.
whichever restaurant you wanted. And we ate there. And I guess people thought I was losing my mind because we be eating. I look out and see the sun dipping down. I would run out, go take a picture, shoot a quick video, and come back in and finish eating. But like I said, Flow Rider was there,
Um,
and it was a few more other people that was there, and we just walked down the pier, man. It was so enjoyable. That's something I won't ever forget because they had ships come in and they was
mhm.
there in party boats, and they was sitting there, and they was because they had a big screen, you could actually see the concert.
One thing that I haven't done is seen a sunset or a sunrise. You've experienced that, of course. You said you would run out and
Yeah,
hmm, that sounds
and
amazing.
it is, and the thing about it was I kept missing. I was trying to catch it as it kept dropping,
Hmm.
and every time I run out there, I just missed it as it dropped for the last time that evening. And I was like,
Mm.
oh. And so the next day, I said, I'm gonna catch it today. Man, it was so cloudy. It was so cloudy. I didn't even get a chance to,
Hmm.
you know.
Now, this is interesting. And this is probably the first time that I have to bring this to y'all like this. But we're going to have to pause for just a brief second. Trust and believe that we're going to come back. So I need everybody to just hang tight for a brief second. Thank you, Birdman313, for reading. Um, when I come back, we're going to get into the burning questions and have a deep conversation as far as
Okay.
restoration goes. So this is like the first time. I don't like to pull this out, but tonight I'm gonna pull it out of the bag. So just hang tight, everybody. Bear with us, and I'll come right back, and we'll keep it moving with the show. So hang tight, everybody. we're back. Thank you. All right. So let everybody know one more time where they can get your poetry.
Yes.
And that's what I was trying to do.
Yes. Amazon.com/Birdman. No, Amazon.com/author/Birdman313. That's where you can get the poetry books. Everything else is like if you want to just connect, look at my videos like on YouTube.com/author poet Birdman 31355, Instagram Birdman 31355, and Spotify. Go to the Coffee, Wine, and Words platform, and you click on that, and you will see. I have 11 videos on there.
And your latest book, the name of your latest book.
Peaceful Thoughts. I had to think about it. Yes, Peaceful Thoughts is my latest, and I'm already finished with my next one. I just got to find someone who, you know, put it together for me.
I got you. Remind me to give you some information. I got you.
Okay.
Now I'm sitting here looking at my bookshelf and I'm trying to I'm like, damn it, I should have had the books available so I can show them on the screen, and I'm trying to figure out how to get. It's worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. I'm gonna grab these
Oh,
books because I
I
have to
got
do it
Peaceful
right.
Thoughts.
Oh, you got.
Um,
I'm sitting here looking like, let me get this book. Hold on one second. We gonna get this because I definitely want to
that's
put that out there.
that's
Okay, there you
Peaceful
go.
Thoughts, and that's actually Pebbles Beach. This is from Pebbles Beach. This picture. I do my own book covers. So, and then
Yeah.
Outdoor Memories. Now that's the one. I just realized I always keep a stack out here, and something told me today to go and get a copy so I can show it. And
Mm,
that one there, Outdoor Memories, actually is Coronado Beach in San Diego.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
like I
Mine
said, I stayed busy writing. I don't have nothing else to do.
ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, as long as you.
Yes, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment where we are going to get into a segment that I call burning questions. If you want to chime in on tonight, give any feedback, let us know how you feel about tonight's show. Please feel free to chime in and text me at 609 200 1098. Again, that number is 609 200 1098. That is the official 411 podcast Reading Between the Wines hotline. So we're getting into the segment which is called Burning Questions. And the burning question for tonight is, how do you reconnect with God when shame and guilt from bad habits keep you distant? I want you to think back to when I opened up the show today. And, we talked about Anthony Hamilton can't let go when you know sometimes that you probably shouldn't engage or you probably shouldn't participate in what you are currently participating in. When you know better, you do better. Sometimes we don't. So, how do you reconnect with God when shame and guilt from bad habits keep you distant? Birdman, what do you think?
Everybody have their own way of connecting. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I all I can do is say, just ask for forgiveness of your sins. If I meant, and you try not to repeat it again. And that's the hardest part of trying not to repeat it again, which we do over and over till something happens, and then you be like, either you have that chance of saying, okay, I'm not doing this again, or
Mm-hmm.
something bad happens that you don't want, and it's nothing that you can do then. It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. Yeah. Hmm.
But
Um.
like I said, I thought about it after you shot it to me, and I was like, that's really a personal thing for
Yeah,
somebody to they had to do it their way. They can't.
right.
I can tell you to do this,
Right.
but you still gonna do it your way.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. It is. That is a deep question, isn't it? Because you
Yeah.
can't really tell anybody.
No, you can't.
And the best thing that I like that you said is you have to ask for forgiveness.
That's the only thing I know to do is just
Yeah.
ask for
Yeah.
forgiveness of sins. I know it was a sin, but then like they said, well, if you know it, why you do it? Human nature.
Right. And that.
Human nature. I mean, we all human. We make our mistakes, and then, like I said, one day you'll sit back and you'll say, "What took me so long to do this?" And
To
for
break.
me, I say immaturity. I wasn't mature enough at the time, and I made the mistake enough to know that it's time to move on.
Hmm.
That's just something that, like I said, is between you and your God. Because everybody don't wish up the same.
Exactly.
So that's why when somebody, I don't really get off into that too much because everybody don't worship the same God. Everybody don't worship the same way,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
you can you can hurt somebody's feeling, or somebody hurt your feeling because you tell them. Because I know growing up, my parents said, "Oh, this is what you need to do." Man, my mom used to, even when I was grown, my mom used to say, "You need to get on your knees and pray." And I'd be
Mm.
like, "How you know I'm not doing that?" But it bothered me so much. And then finally, I said, "You know what? I'm not letting them know anything that I'm doing wrong because she's gonna tell me the same thing over and over again." And I'm such a knucklehead and immature that it seemed like I don't know no better when I did know better. So
Hmm. That's some deep talk. And that is interesting too. You spoke about what your mom used to say about getting on your knees and praying because that actually came up in a Bible study a couple weeks ago. Yeah, interesting.
uh-huh.
I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, that came up because a lot of people question that as well. Huh.
Yeah.
Mm. I like how you said about forgiveness. You have to ask for forgiveness. You have to repent. But from my understanding, what I know is that we don't get dis he doesn't disconnect from us. We disconnect from him. We pull away from him.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So how you can reconnect is by doing the right thing,
Yeah.
doing what doing what you're supposed to do and turning away from whatever it is that is pulling you away from. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else out there? Because this is when you said wow when I was presenting this to you, I wasn't thinking how deep wow really is, but this is a deep question.
Yeah.
Probably probably one of the deepest ones that we've probably had on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like I said, I was thinking you was gonna ask me the other ones because I was
Oh,
prepared with the other ones. And then
well,
you asked then when you said that, I'm like, whoa, hold up. I didn't even have time to think of it. I didn't have time to think. But then I'm like, I really didn't need the time because I kind of know like what I'm gonna say already.
Yeah.
And
I
sometimes,
mean, well, the song of the day.
I'll just go with the flow. I'll just start saying something, and then all of a sudden it hit them. Then I change it and go this route. I'm learning to do that a lot.
Um, well, the song of the day, like, can't let go. When you holding on to something so much that you can't let go, and you know that that's not the right thing, that's not pleasing to God.
Right.
And then when we know that, because when you know better, you do better, now you might have some guilt. And then this is where it could become a problem because you got guilt, you got shame. So instead of straightening up, doing the right thing, turning away from whatever it is that is moving you in the wrong direction, some people, they can just give up sometimes. And I say tonight, people don't give up, but there are people who give up and they just keep going because they're like, well, I'm running.
Yeah.
I'm running because I did X, Y, and Z, knowing, not knowing that if they just stop and they pivot and they go back in the direction towards him, things will, get a little
That's
better.
true. That's true.
But
And some people don't.
a lot
Some
of
people
times,
don't want to change because you had a question that I was looking at, and I'm gonna say it like this: some people don't want to change because of their community where they at, and they
mm,
are they like okay, I live in this community here, and if I start backing down, the people that's in this community that I've been hanging out with, that I've been doing what I've been doing, are they gonna make fun of me, or
hmm,
they gonna how can I put it? I guess, yeah, make fun of me.
maybe outcast.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Treat me like an outcast because I mean I've seen that happen where a person changed their style, their life because they want to do better, and then the whole community turned on them. You know,
Yeah, that happened to me in 2020.
and
It is what it is.
yeah, you know, I remember I used to go to this house all the time. Stand out there, smoke, drink, barbecue. I just quit going around them. I just quit going around them.
Hmm.
And the last time I seen most of them guys, it's been a while back. And one of them said, "Oh, what you think you better than us now?" And I'm like, "No, man." I said, "I just, I said, hey, uh, I'm just doing other things now." And
Right,
then
right.
one of the guys, he said, "Oh, that's right. You write poetry. I can write better than that." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not in no competition with nobody. To each his own." And they would, dude,
Right, right.
so and they were making all kind of saying things. I ain't been back and it's only one of them I seen because he never said that. He always encouraged me. He said, "Hey man, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what I like what you're doing." And he
It's always the ones that like my grandmother say, it's always the ones that got something to say that don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it
right,
out.
right, right. But because I had a friend back home, and he told me he had seen me, and he said, "Oh yeah, what that end doing?" He said, "Oh man," he said, "he doing well." He said, "Man," he said, "he, yeah, yeah, yeah." And he said he writing poetry books, and he going to do an open mic, and the dude said, "Oh, I bet you that end think he's something now." And he said, "No," he said, "He's still quiet." And he just doing what he loved to do. And he's writing now, getting into and
Hmm.
say he's starting to learn how to play the guitar and just do the things that he want to do, and he's been traveling. And that's another reason why I won't go home, because he wouldn't tell me exactly who it was. So I don't want to go back there and I get caught up in the crossfire and not know who the person is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that person, because jealousy, man, jealousy is a monster. People don't realize that, man. People can be jealous, and some people will hurt you because of jealousy. And I'm talking about physically hurt you.
and,
And I don't, like I said, I just don't want to go back
and
there and I'm standing up here, I'm laughing and talking with this guy, knowing all the whole time, he got this in the back of his mind about, I think I'm better. And no, man, I don't. I'm just like I tell everybody, man. You know what? I put my pants on the same way you do, one leg at a time.
exactly. That's that come from that spirit of make sure I got this right. Covetousness. Did I say it right? I don't know if I did or not, but wanting what some wanting what somebody else
Yeah,
has, and yeah, that could be a
right.
problem. Yeah. Want what God has for you is what He has for you. We spoke about this the other night with Neil Jones Jr. Some people get caught up wanting what somebody else has, and then jealousy, envy, and all of this other stuff. And then when you end up getting, because be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. When you get it, now you experience what the other person experienced, and you have no idea what it took for them to, you know, get and maintain, and
Right.
you end up getting that stuff and be like, what the heck was I thinking? I don't even want this anyway. I don't want this stress. I don't want this drama. I don't want whatever it is. Like, yeah.
So
So
right.
I know we went in a roundabout circle with this, but we bring it
Yeah.
back home.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm just, hey, just always, anytime we talk about something, it seems to kind of my life. I can see some of the things that I did, wish I didn't do, but I did. And
Mhm.
even this morning I was sitting back and I'm like, man, I did a lot of things, met a lot of people, been a lot of places, and I'm where I'm at. And then I said,
Right.
if I had been more mature, maybe, and maybe not. I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know, and that's the thing. And we can't go back and forth. And you know, there are no accidents in life.
Yeah,
Like it, this is what it's supposed to be, and this is the path. And nowadays I just say, you know what, God, more of you and less of me. Because when I get in the way, I start overthinking, I start analyzing stuff, I start trying to make things work the way it's going to work for me. And you know what, where did it get me so far?
yeah,
It got me in a whole lot of mess and a whole lot. Let me do something different this time around. Let me back up. Let me shut up a little bit, and more of you and less of
yeah.
me, because we already know what the end game is when I get
That's
involved.
why I tell people, just like when I go to a poetry reading, I always tell people, don't put me one, put me number four or lower down. And they look at me and they say, why? I said, I want to see how they gonna set the atmosphere, if that makes sense,
Oh, of
you know.
course.
And
Yeah.
then, cause even tonight, I would tell you, man, I had rotated so many different poems, and then, cause I already know when
Mm-hmm.
the time comes, I know which one I'm gonna read. But I want
Right,
to,
right, right.
read something.
You
I didn't want to just read poems of like all nature poems or all, just I wanted
yeah,
to try to mix it up so that people can say,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
he can write a poem about almost anything." It's not just one particular. People ask me, "What do I?"
mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Man, I just write." So when I go to a reading, I try to mix it up. And one of my good friends in
Yeah,
Austin, he always called me the nature poet. He said, he said, because he said, man, he said, some kind of way, I don't care how, you put or title your poems, they got something about nature in it. And I'm like, oh,
Mm.
okay. Oh, hey.
The the beauty is that you have worked so hard, you have a large catalog, and you can pick and choose like
Yes,
that. That's when you start to have fun. When you got so much, you're like, I put my work in. Now you start to enjoy the fruits
yes,
of your labor
yes.
because you can
And you
pick and
know what?
choose and
That's what
do.
when I first tried to get a book printed, I sent out. It was 222. I'll never forget it. And they sent it back to
Mm,
me. No, they kept it. They kept my manuscript and they sent me a contract. And so
mm,
then they said, well, and I read the contract. And I went to work because where I worked at, there was an attorney there. And I said, hey, man, I said, would you look at this contract with me? Sure. He looked at it. He said, oh man, don't. He said, don't even mess with that. He said they want you to write 3 books a year with at least 200 poems every year in each book. I mean, in each book. And I'm like, oh man, I said, I don't even have
mm,
it. At the time, I didn't think I had it. I had it, but I hadn't did anything, like put them together or nothing. And now I tell
mm.
people that's what made me step back and say, you know what, I'm not ready yet. Let me get all this. That's why if you look, if any look on my computer, on my in my documents, you'll see I have like 35 folders of poems, 72 or more in each one of them. So therefore, I'm
Mm.
ready anytime, you know.
Right. I got you. I got you. I see that. You had to do the work
Yeah,
first. You gotta do the work first. Sometimes we want it right away, and that's a recipe for disaster. Neil Jones Jr. said it the other night. That's microwavable success. It don't happen that quick. Sometimes you got to put
yeah,
that work in. And you spoke about wanting what somebody else has. A lot of times people can sit back and now look at you with all of the books you have, the poems you have, and say, I want what he has, and get jealous or want that microwavable effect. And only thing I have to say to that is absolutely not. You don't know how long it took. You don't know what sleepless nights. You don't know the work that we put in. You don't know this. You don't know that. You don't know the behind the scenes thing. All you do is just show up now. You think that you're just supposed to come in and get it.
yeah,
Get it.
yeah. And a lot of young people, that's how they think.
Jeez.
They want it now. They don't want to work for it. And I tell anybody, I started straight from the bottom up, man. I can tell you how many poems, how many books, I mean, manuscripts I sent out, and people actually kept them. They wouldn't even return them back to me. And then all I did was, I'm like,
That's
I know
crazy.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take them poems right there, and I'm gonna change the name. I'm gonna change a couple of lines all through there. I'm gonna get it out there. But it didn't come overnight. I mean, I've been writing, man. Man, I've been writing for a long time, at least 40 years. I've been writing, if not more.
Wow. Wow. Hmm. Well, congratulations on the success because there's
Oh
more
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Definitely more coming. And remind me to fill you in because I know you're talking about the new book. So I have some information for you on that one that might could possibly help you.
Okay,
So
appreciate it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, it's time to go ahead and get on up out of here. If you want to go ahead and leave us with any last words, notes, updates, anything that you have
Hey,
for us
I
out here
tell
tonight.
everybody all the time, don't give up. Just because you ain't there now, don't
Absolutely.
mean you won't get there. You just have to put the work in.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
like that. Life is a
yeah,
journey. So we got to continue to keep
You're gonna
pressing
have
on.
you're gonna have more you're gonna have more no's than you will yes. That's for sure.
And and that's a good thing, like being okay
Yeah,
with no. Like you ain't supposed to get
yeah,
everything how you want it this way, that way. Sometimes no is a blessing. Like that could be a level of protection. Like rejection is
yeah.
protection.
And like I always tell people, when one door closes, another one opens. And I've had
Hmm.
so many poems rejected, so many. But I've also had quite a few of them that's been accepted.
It's accepted, yeah. It's the
Yeah,
average. You get so many no's and then one
yeah,
turns into a yes. You get so many no's again and then one
yeah.
turns into a yes. So are you going to put the work in, knowing and accepting and understanding that, yeah, there's going to be some no's, but guess what? This is where when we speak about the mental aspect, and then I'm gonna get out of here because you just opened up a door. When you speak about the mental aspect of changing your mindset, some people, they will get clamped up and they will regress. Okay, that's a good word. They will regress with no, being
Right,
rejected. But then once you know the game and you twist it and you say, oh, okay, so if I get 20 no's, that means on a 21st one it's got to be a yes, right? And you start to do your average, now a real beast will be like, okay, so give me all the no's you get, give them all to me, because guess what, after a while that yes is going to pop up. So when people start hearing no, they get excited, give me more, give me more, give me more, because guess what, the more that I put in the work, the more that I press the gas, the more that I do this, the more that I do that, a yes has got to be around the
right.
corner, because it's the law of the average.
And you want to hear something that's
Anyway,
really funny? I tried, maybe I should. I'm gonna say this. I tried to get on 4 other podcasts. All of them turned me
mm-hmm,
down. You're the only one that said yes.
mm-hmm.
That's why I stick with it, man. I'm like, wow, man, this brother gonna give me a chance. Okay.
Well, you know what, check this out. You know how many people that I asked to come on to the show and they've turned me
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
same thing. It,
Oh
it
yeah,
works both ways. You just have to continue to keep pressing. And then that's why I said sometimes a no can turn into excitement, because after a while, somebody is bound to say yes. You just have to find the right people that work for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's been a good one.
All right. I am going to get out of here.
Yeah,
I have enjoyed my wine. I got a little bit left, but this was a good
yeah.
show tonight.
Hey man, I'm gonna still be on you
So,
about that list.
oh yeah, it's coming. I got to work on
Yeah,
it. It's coming.
okay.
It's
I
coming.
know it, man. Hey, I know you
All
busy.
right.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, then, man. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
So
you
I'll
having me on
see you
here,
next
getting a chance
week.
to read. And I hope what I read, people like maybe one or two of them or all of them, and they got some out of it. So that's all. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Yes, that's all
Yeah,
that matters too. As long as you connect and you reach to, I say sometimes when I come out, at least
yeah,
just one person. That's all, just one person. Now, if we get more than great, but
yeah,
just one person.
yeah, yeah,
All right. Take care. Have a good night. I'll
yep.
see you when I
You
see
take
you.
care, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was author Birdman 313. I want to say thank you all so much for joining in. This has been a good experience tonight. Like I said, I got a little bit more wine left. Amazing. Top notch. Definitely enjoyed the experience, the poetry, the wine, the conversation. This was a good show. If you want to find out more information about debt-free living, focus on debt free living from the realm of spiritual, mental, physical, and financial. Head on over to LarenGaines.com. You can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation. You can apply to see if you qualify for the coaching sessions. Also, I have a free monthly newsletter, which is called Whispers of Wisdom, inspirational content delivered to your inbox once a month centered around debt-free living. Again, all of that information is at laryngaines.com. You can join me tomorrow right here, same place, same time, for coaching sessions Thursday. We have a very special guest coming up, and we're going to have lots of same deep conversations that we've been having all week. We started with Spiritual Sunday, we had Mental Monday, Transformational Tuesday, and then Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. Exactly, what we do. Sample some good wine, great conversation, but also keeping it real. Just basically that's it, keeping it real. And again, I want to give a very special thank you to my special guest, author/poet Birdman313. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you when I see you. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
5,
Take care.
4, 3, 2, 1. And that's a wrap on today's episode of the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines, where growth is always on the menu, and every pour reveals a little more truth. The conversation doesn't end here. Have something to say? Want to weigh in on tonight's burning questions? Text us anytime at the official 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines hotline at 609-200-1098. Stay plugged in across all social media platforms at Laryngaines. We're live and in the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, and Dailymotion. Prefer to listen on the go? The audio version is streaming on most major podcast outlets. Until we meet again, take what you've learned, sip slow, speak truth, and remember, transformation starts within. Powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network.